Okay, so this is my video response for Derek. Let's get straight into it. The plan here was to subsidize organic farm by the U.S. federal government, and the U.S. federal government will also cover the cost of certification. The harms were no incentive to be organic. You can't rely on the goodwill of human beings. There's no current incentive, and the certification process is daunting. The inherency was that there's money set aside for corporate farming, but none set aside for organic, and that this is a misuse of money, and that, again, this was consistently pushed. There's no incentive to go organic. And his solvency was that the United States federal government would provide incentive and assistance to organic farms. It's possible that we would increase the number of organic farms. Let's first get into the problem of why there's no incentive. There's no incentive because there's no benefit for corporate farmers to go organic. There may be a benefit if farms starting out were to be had assisted organically, but there's no benefit if these farms who are not organic. There's no benefit if they were to go organic. Even with these incentives, it's costly. Output decreases inherently with organic farms. The money isn't the only thing. It costs production, and they know that these corporate farms are feeding millions of people. So we see that the problems with the harms is that these certification processes exist because it has to be organic. That's a high standard to me, and the reason that's a high standard and daunting is because it's supposed to be exclusive. It's supposed to be something that is almost a delicacy, and by taking that away, we make it more organic. Organic has the opportunity, which he mentioned opportunity quite a bit. Well, now we see the opportunity for organic farm to become corporate farming, and it becomes a circular cycle, and we're essentially wasting that money. But they said their money is set aside for corporate farming. That is because corporate farming is the most efficient way to give food for 300 million people, which is essentially what this industry is supposed to do, is provide food for 300 million people. The solvency, is that we get more organic farms. But I don't see any benefit to having organic farms. We see the benefit to get more. Would see the benefit of getting more organic farms. But what's the benefit of having that? And so on that note, let's get straight into my disadvantages, which is my first disadvantage is tackling business sense. The uniqueness is we currently are spending millions of dollars in farm subsidies, farming everything from corn to meat to everything in between to provide food for 300 million people. The link here is that his plan would use that money to promote organic farms. He would either create new funds somewhere, wasn't specific in that regard, or he would move money from non-organic to organic farms. The internal link here is that organic farms inherently produce less. We are as a result spending the same amount, if not possibly more money. Again, it wasn't specific. To get less product. We're spending more, or we're spending even to get less product. In a business sense, it's 0 cents. So the impact here is we're going to be wasting millions of dollars to get less. And in a time of financial crisis, which is what we're in right now, we don't have the time nor the money to be wasting it on something we don't need, frankly. There's no need for organic farms, and there was no expressed need for organic farming in his video, in any of his arguments. It can't be afforded, and also with this, we're costing farmers more money, we're costing the government more money, consumers paying the price by not having as much food available. It's the whole disadvantage is it just doesn't make business sense. It's not practical to do this. Let's get into the second DA, which is status quo food production. The uniqueness here is that we currently as per capita, meaning per individual, annually we spend 2,000 pounds, or we consume 2,000 pounds of food annually, and we have 2,700 pounds of food available. Now, in the past 5 decades, we've only increased a total of less than 500 pounds per capita annually. So, and we have 2,700 pounds available. So we're at least at another 7, 8 decades, which is a significant. I mean, and that's assuming that farm production doesn't increase, that the agriculture doesn't. Agriculture actually doesn't improve. I mean, these are all things that happen. The agricultural industry improves, technology becomes better, everything improves. So we see we have a fairly large margin to increase and improve in that regard. The link here is that the plan would reduce that available number by reducing farm size. Again, organic farms are inherently smaller; they produce less. And we'd be increasing that. The plan would increase that amount. Internally, if the plan makes less food available per capita, meaning instead of having 2,700 food available per capita, becomes 2,200 or 2,300. There's new numbers. The impact here is that in a few decades, meaning, if we were to have, if food were to increase, again, as the past has shown, if food consumption were to increase, we would see and we have this massive drop in food production, we could see massive amounts of food shortages within the next few decades, which would be terrible because dying children and all that. And I apologize, I believe it's